Hello beautiful people, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new to this channel, thank you for subscribing, and if you're an old subscriber, thank you for staying tuned to the channel. In this video, we're going to be learning how to make this Bustier peplum top. Stay tuned. Get right into the video. So we're going to be taking our measurement on our pattern paper. So first thing, I'm taking our chest point, which is 7 inches, and I added ½ inch for sewing allowance. So that's, I've marked 7.5 inches, and I'm connecting the dots together. After that, I'm going ahead to take our bust point, which is 11, and I'm marking 11.5 inches. So connect that together as well. So after that, we'll go ahead to take our under bust measurement, which is 13.5, and then I added ½ inch allowance, so that's going to be 14 inches. I'm connecting that together. Then we take our next measurement, which is our waist measurement. So the waist is 16.5, so I'm going to be marking 17 inches. So here I'm just connecting the dots together. So then we'll go ahead to take our blouse length, which is 23 inches, the length of the blouse. And the next thing, I'm going ahead to take the shoulder measurement, which is our shoulder divided by 2. So I've marked that, and I'm going ahead to mark it on the chest line too. So I've marked those dots, and I'm connecting it together. So next thing you do is you take the measurement of your shoulder till you get to your chest point, and then you mark the center. And then after you've done that, from that center, you go ahead to take ½ inch, and then you connect that from the shoulder to your chest line with your French curve. If you don't have a French curve, you could use your rough hand sketch to take that measurement. Then after that, we go ahead to take our dart measurement, which I'm taking 4 inches for my dart. That's my nipple to nipple measurement. And then I'll go ahead to connect that line together. So after you've done that, you go to your under bust point, and you take out 1 inch, and then ½ inch from the other side. So that's, I'm going to take the same measurement at the blouse length as well. And then you go ahead to connect those dots you created together. So after you're done, I'm just going ahead from our under bust to the bust point with our French curve to create that cup effect. If you don't have a French curve, you could also use your freehand sketch, but make sure to connect it to the bust point from your under bust. And then we'll go ahead to our chest line as well. I'm taking 1 inch above the chest line because I don't want it to be too deep. But if you don't mind, you could as well still leave it at the chest line. So after we connect that, I'll go ahead to also take the same measurements. I took 1 inch and 1.5 inch respectively. And then I'm going ahead from the chest line to connect it to the bust point as well, just to give room for where the cup is going to be. And then that's that for the bustier area. And then next thing, I'm going to be taking the measurement. So I'm going to be taking our bust point divided by 4. That's what I've marked here. Then I added sewing allowance. That's, I think, about 2 inches. And then I went ahead with the under bust, took the measurement divided by 4, marked it. Then I took the measurement of that, and then I added the sewing allowance as well. So after that, I went ahead to the waist area as well. I did the same thing. Take my waist measurement divided by 4. Then I'll take that measurement as well. And then I've gone ahead to also add the sewing allowance. So here I'm just connecting all those lines together. So here now I'm just connecting the lines, the dots together. So after that, at the waist, I'll go ahead.
Yeah, how are you? Thank you. Hey, ma'am. Check me now. They go like this.
I'll go ahead to measure 4 inches. So inshallah, I just use my freehand sketch. So I'm taking that out by 4 inches from the waist. So that's when I connected that line together. After that, I'm going ahead to create that shape in front. So I'll go ahead to measure, take 9 inches. And then I took away 3 inches from the upper part at the center. And then I'm going ahead to connect those lines already marked together. So after that, I'm going ahead to take that same 3 inches at the side of the blouse, and then I'm going to connect it as well to the point I already made. So after that, we've gone ahead to cut that out. So this is the bustier we have now. So now I'm going ahead to cut the back, but before I cut the back, I'm going ahead to just use the front to cut out the back. So after I'm done, I'm going ahead to take the dart measurement, which is 4 inches as well. I'm going to go ahead to connect them down. And then I'll go ahead to take the waist measurement. So from that point, I'm going to go ahead to take 1 inch from both sides. Then I'm going to connect it as a straight line to the ends of the blouse. So here I went ahead to cut out that lines. So here now I'm taking the dart, which is 1 inch from the center of the waist, and then I'm going ahead to create our dart. I initially wanted to sew the dart together, but then I decided to cut it out as pieces. So here I'm just cutting that out. I'm just marking that out, I meant. So after I'm done, I'm going ahead to cut that out. So here now, I'm going ahead to take out 1 inch from the bust area to make room for the bust to sit perfectly in the bustier. So here I'm just taking out 1 inch, and then I'm just going to cut that out and use my paper tape. So you have, whenever you're cutting that, you have to cut the straight line so it will be easy for you to fix that in. So here I'm going ahead to use my tape to hold it. So after that, I've gone ahead to cut out all the pieces, and I've gone ahead to iron tissue stay on both the lining and the fabric. So after that, I'm going ahead here to cut the wording that I'll be using for the cup area. So here I've marked 4 inches, and I'm using my hand to create the freehand sketch to cut out a cup with my hand. So here I've cut it out, and I've gone ahead to cut the wording as well. While cutting the wording, you leave room for your sewing allowance, which you did while cutting. And here I've gone ahead to iron them, and next thing I'm going ahead to join them with 1/2 inch on the machine. So after joining, this is what you will have. This is what it looks like. Make sure to iron. Here I've ironed it too. Make sure to iron so they sit perfectly. Went ahead to join all the darts, both for the front and for the back. So here's the back of the outfit. I'm going ahead to join the zipper allowance area together. So after that, this is what it looks like. And then I'll go ahead to cut out the net that I'll be fixing there. So I'll just take the measurement from my shoulder to the chest line, and then I'll cut that out. And that's it for the sleeve or the upper area of the blouse. So make sure you cut 2. So I just folded the 1 yard. I just folded it by the length, so that's how I'm getting the measurements for the net. And then and then I'll go ahead to the back. From the zipper allowance, I'll measure 1 inch. That's where our zip will reach, and then I'll go ahead to mark our back measurement minus 1.5, so that's going to be 5.5 inches. And then we'll go ahead to gather the net. So yeah, I'm just pinning the net down so it will stay, and then I'm also going ahead to pin the end of the net down. And then I'm just going to go ahead to gather it. So here I've already gone ahead to gather it on the machine, and then the next thing is I'm going to go ahead to place the lining to cover it up. So then I've gone ahead to cover that area up, the net up to the back, and then here's the back. I'm going ahead to go to the front as well and do the same thing. So here I'm going ahead to measure the same 5.5 from the center. And then I'll mark those, and then I'll go ahead to place it as well on the centers. Make sure that your centers are aligning, and then I'll do well to pin that down. So yeah, I was just checking if I placed it correctly, so I don't have to lose the fabric again. I'm sure nobody's above mistake. So here too, I'm just going ahead to also pin it to that 5.5 inch from the center, and then I'll go ahead to gather it. And then I'll also place the second one there. But here what I'm going to do now is I'm going to place the net over the other net a little bit, so that it will just give it this overlapping effect, if you get. Sorry, my hand was obstructing, but that was the best way I could pin that down. So the next thing here, I'm just making sure the nets are placed accurately, and then I'll go ahead to pin it to that same 5.5 inches, and then I'll go ahead to gather it and then place the lining on it. See, I'm just using my hand to make a rough gathers, but I'll do that on the machine. And then so here I've gone ahead to join that. If you notice, there's an overlap, and then the next thing is to go ahead to sew down the lower part of the dress. So yeah, I'm going to sew the lower part of the dress, both sides, and I turned it from the sides. I didn't turn the sides of the dress. Next thing you do is go ahead to mark your sewing allowance, which I'm already doing, 1.5 inches, and then I've gone ahead to go and sew it on the machine, the 1.5 inch, and then here I just notched where the curve is so that it will be able to open perfectly and not run inside by the time I'm wearing it. So here I've gone ahead to notch, and that's at the waist area where the curve is starting from. So I've gone ahead to iron it, and this is our top. This is what we have. So next thing, I'm just going ahead to sew down the zipper allowance, and this is our beautiful top. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying tuned to the channel. I really appreciate. Bye. See you in another video. Bye.